Lord, we're gathered here in your name, and we have some good food, good people, hopefully good conversation. This is the ritual that worked last night, a really in-depth conversation.
Beautiful.
And I just feel like people around tables in the U.S. right now is going through a spiritual revolution, and it needs to be heard, and someone would be interested in hearing this. So if you're hearing this, welcome and join the meal with us, and thank you. So, amen.
But cooking is the bond between race groups that do nothing about each other. Whether it's in American context or in Britain or anywhere, when there's a blurring mixture and dialogue between racial groups, food is like the easiest way to communicate.
Well, when Anthony Bourdain, I used to watch his show all the time because he would go to different cultures and they would talk about the different foods that they had or different kind of ways, and then he got to know the cultures of the people. I mean, that's in a way, it's a binding thing that brings people together, but yet there's different interests. I loved Anthony Bourdain. I was really upset when he committed suicide. Because he was...
If he committed suicide.
Oh, you don't think he did? You think that's a conspiracy too?
I mean, I don't know enough about it to say either way, but I know there are definitely suspicious aspects of his death, but primarily like with.
What were they? I didn't hear that.
Primarily, I think what he was up to before it happened.
Yeah, well, go over the unhinged with me. Tell me about that.
Well, I didn't know.
I thought she was on cocaine that when she was driving and she was kind of suicide.
I mean, they say all this stuff, but I mean, they're just like there's again.
Oh, you think someone might have had her killed?
Well, there's a lot of again just weird circumstances to whatever this was.
But they had reported that she was going to be okay. It said was she was on mechanical ventilation because she had internal injuries from the smoke. It damaged her lungs, and
there's a lot of
also she had inconsistencies.
A lot of inconsistencies in the story. That's like, it just. But again, like how that kind of ties in with Anthony Bourdain was a lot of these suspicious deaths. Paul Walker, another one.
Oh yeah, Paul Walker. I remember that. He was driving his car. Yes. Yeah.
The woman that Alec Baldwin shot on set.
Oh yeah, I just saw him talking about that he didn't purposely shoot.
So one thing that all these people that died under these suspicious circumstances have in common is that they were at the time of their deaths like had been working on projects to expose like human trafficking, child trafficking. All of them had just coincidentally. No, the girl that Baldwin shot.
Oh, really?
She apparently was involved in it with a project that.
Wait a minute. Your suspicion may go. I'm just guessing that maybe the people that have been involved in human trafficking don't want things coming out, leaks coming out, so that it's like kind of like our CIA kills people too to keep them shut them out.
It's not kind of like it's exactly like.
Exactly. Yeah.
You start to expose things, that they don't want exposed, like they just take you out.
It's horrible.
It's simple. There's so many ways to drug somebody with something.
Oh yeah, they could do date rape drugs.
I'm basically saying from Project Paperclip, and you could say arguably from the occult research of the Real Society, the SS, and whatever the hell.
What's the occult research, Kyle?
It means hidden. The occulted just means hidden from public view. So the occulted research that they were doing, the secret science of the Nazis.
Secret Science of the Nazis.
That was incorporated as the Project Paperclip into the U.S. So Sidley Gottlieb and all these guys, they were experts in mind control and developing and weaponizing mind control. Now, not only did they do it to stars and stars over and over and over, we'll talk about the trauma that they went through. He was bringing up that Andrew Yang is starting his own party.
Oh, I
where
love
he's
Andrew
saying
Yang.
that
What's his idea was Andrew Yang? He's starting.
Okay, so again, I could be understanding it wrong, but from how it was described to me, and what I thought was a good idea, and I still do. I don't see what the downside to this idea is. Is that so? First of all, every single app you have on your phone.
Yes.
They are all collecting data about you. Every single app you sign up for, you agree, and so that data is actually of value. So companies take that data and they sell it to other companies. Like big data is actually very valuable.
For the purpose of algorithms?
Well, for the algorithms, exactly. For the purpose of for lots and lots of purposes, but it's very valuable. And so my understanding was that Andrew Yang's idea was to just literally pay people back for their own information they are giving to these tech companies right now for free. So right now, Google, Facebook, every single app you have is taking your information for free because you just agree to give it to them.
Okay, so you're not unwittingly giving.
No, you agree to it. Yeah, you say.
You make an agreement. Okay.
Well, yeah, when you download the app.
But who determines? Andrew Yang wants to give people money for their.
Well, I just think again, I could be wrong if this. I could be wrong about it, but regardless if it's Andrew Yang's idea or not, I think it is a good idea to pay people back for their data. That again, right now you're giving away for free, and so we've been giving you our information for free.
We've been putting in fucking danger.
Well, we're no longer going to give it to you for free. And so now you're just going to pay us back for that. And in that case, again, if a universal basic income for the entire country, if it could be paid for strictly from Google and Facebook and like these big tech companies, then like I'm 100% for, again, just paying people back like from their and just funding the entire thing from them.
One of the reasons he wanted to do a universal income is due to the fact that with AI coming up, more and more people are going to be taken. What happens to all the people that don't have way to survive?
I completely agree, and so you're asking great questions, and so the short answer is they've decided that the people just don't need to be here. So that is why that is why they have gone ahead with their depopulation agenda.
It could be like someone like an Anne Heche who knew some information that was critical.
The thing with Hollywood, like the reason why every single person in that arena has to remain in complete lockstep with everything else is because the power they have has been granted to them.
Well, don't they tend to advocate for the more leftist, liberal kind of thoughts?
Well, I'm saying they can't deviate from that. My overall point I'm trying to get at is that
yes, I'm sorry, I'm getting off the
No, it's totally fine.
The agenda from decade to decade changes a lot.
Are exceptions to every fucking rule, but for the most part, every single one of those people have been granted the power that they either had or still have, and it can be taken away. I'm just saying, but anyone that's an actor, that power can be taken away from them if they deviate from the message that they are pushing. So they all push the same agenda, and you cannot break from that because
people used to listen to them when they had any kind of argument to make politically or statement because it seemed like because you were like I just saw Alyssa Milano talking about the abortion issue and I think she was right on. She did a whole history of abortion. Did you hear that? Ever hear that? It's beautiful, but not beautiful, but she goes back into the history
of abortion, like back to Moloch.
Well, I mean, she goes back to apparently women were trying to do this a long time ago.
It's a sacrifice to the god Moloch.
What? Abortion? You're saying abortion is a sacrifice to the god Moloch? I've never heard that. You mean like it's a devil thing?
It's the Church of Satan literally argues in court that it is a sacrament. Like they argue that they should be allowed to do abortion regardless of what the laws are because for them it is a sacrament. So their religious right to do so. This is one issue that for the vast majority of my life I would have argued a different side, but again, like I never really
see it as a freedom to choose and make a decision about your own body as a woman.
I am very, very, very hesitant to advocate for anything that takes anyone's rights away. But like,
you mean the unborn's right?
Well, so the thing is, what I think is the best quote is, "With great power comes great responsibility." And so women are they're everything. Without women, there are no babies. There's no civilization.
We have the power to have a baby. We're able.
Well,
but you know that one time a man's penis was considered sacred. It used to be a vagina. I mean, what I'm saying is, in the herstory of the United States, it's about women's history, her story, herstory instead of history.
But like women can give life, and they have this incredible, amazing ability. Again, like
are men envious of that? as a man?
No, I don't. No, I'm not envious of that. I think it's.
I just wondered how you felt about
No,
it. Or the one in Florida, the 14-year-old. Now listen,
So again,
the
I
14-year-old,
understand.
When they said she's too young to make the decision to have an abortion. At
I understand,
16,
but
is she's too young to be able to take care of a child?
So as far as like how should we structure society, I just think the only answer is to make that the absolute last possible like emergency option. Again,
People are pro-life. You say pro-life.
correct.
Then why is it that we make AR-15s legal and then you have a junior AR-15 that they show a young kid holding? They're advertising it to children.
Yeah.
Children are going to want to buy AR-15s before they're 18. But what I'm saying is,
I mean, that's
why
like,
do they do things that are so anti-life, like poison our foods? What about daycare?
Well, they're trying to kill. They're
helping mothers.
trying to kill us all.
What about people? We have this structure of our society where you have these real elite. We talked about this,
Right.
And so, what about those mothers who don't have enough money to raise a child?
So it's like,
Well, they take their money too. They ask the people to send checks. That's what Tammy Faye and Jim Baker were doing.
That's
You know,
all.
and
All
they-
churches and stuff like that. That's all another just vectors of control. Like
I know. Well, what about the Pope? He's got. I told
Pope
you,
is a
shrink
goddamn-
who said, the
Pope is
Pope
a
said he was
fucking-
my shrink said the Pope was the Antichrist.
I would
course
not.
he is.
Yeah,
That's the
I would
word.
not disagree with your shrink.
You would
One
not
world
disagree.
religion.
I would
No,
not.
he would not disagree with my shrink. Who
I would
said
not.
The Pope was the Antichrist.
So I'm not saying like he is the Antichrist, but I know that he's definitely not a good man. He's not a person that is at all in line with like the teachings of what he is supposed to represent. I definitely know that. Like he is definitely someone that has been put into place in order to accelerate the destruction. I have to go with Obama. Like Obama makes sense to me. Like it just
being the Antichrist.
I could.
Well, tell me why. Because he was a racist. He's not.
No, not at all. I just think that I
his
can.
grandfather was a CIA.
He's so like for the same reasons that I liked him, because he's so well spoken. He can
Charismatic.
right,
Yeah.
and so for the same reasons that I
That's what
liked
got
him,
him elected.
and the same reason I voted for him in 2008.
No, remember when he got up there at that one thing where he said, there's poor America, black, we're one America. Remember?
I don't exactly, but
He did a speech.
Remember when he said we don't have time to talk about the Flat Earth Society?
plenty of times,
well,
yeah.
But also, I'm saying
Like
he
5 or
really
6
talked
times.
about-
Obama,
he
I don't remember his exact messages, but I voted one time ever, and it was for Obama in 08. But I don't know if what exactly Obama's messages. I don't remember what they were at the time, what he was saying, but I remember I believed them, and
He's charismatic.
he got my vote, and
Yeah, mine too.
so but for those same reasons, I again believe that I'm saying if I had to pick and say, okay, if it's if these are the suspects and like who's my best guess is who it would be, I would just say Obama, just because again, like most other people that I hear, I just don't get the sense that they are intelligent enough or powerful enough. I don't know. Again, just Obama, nothing at all would I wouldn't even probably blink if Obama just morphed into a giant demon with black wings just in front of us.
Why? What do you say?
It just seems like it would.
Because he seems to.
It just seems like that is just.
Oh, you mean like the Incredible Hulk when he gets angry, he's suddenly.
I'm saying if we were all watching Obama and Obama just his skin ripped open and he just had 12-foot wings and he was this black devil creature, I'd be like, okay,
Does it become a
this makes sense.
superhero or a super demon?
I think it's super demon. Yeah, he's not a superhero. He's either a super demon or he's just another.
But why would you liked Obama? So
I
why
did.
Why would you equate him to turning?
Because I also liked Obama when I had a completely. I was so.
There was an amazing thread.
I was-
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
but, there was an amazing thread we were talking about yesterday about trust, and trust is a currency, and
Yeah.
trust does nothing if you hoard trust, and trust is also wasted if you frivolously give everyone trust, right? So trust is something
absolutely.
trust you put in an institution saying, I trust this. We trusted Obama, and then you're led astray, and you say, oh, I went down with the ship. I trusted Bitcoin. It crashed. You put your money or your faith or your trust in something, in an institution or a belief system, and you say,
You have that
word
trust
is
to
my
give,
bond.
so that you have that currency to give, and you're meant to use that
But
currency
you're not the oven.
in life.
Yeah.
You're not meant to go through life and never put trust in anybody. Like I always say, like I trust nobody, and that honestly, like at its core, is like true. But I also know that I have time and time again chosen to put my trust in people, even though even if you get burned, if you put your trust in someone, like
I already put salt in it.
that's fine.
What's okay?
With Obama, not only were we just like deceived by someone that that we believed like what they were saying, what they were actually going to like follow through with, but more so,
Wait a minute. You think that Obama deceived us?
Biden's not running anything. Basically, the point is like Biden's.
Well, isn't that what he did? He picked people that he felt. This is what I've heard a criticism with Trump. And Trump picks his kids to be in there, and he picks people. And when he doesn't like someone, he fires them because they're not loyal to him, much like a dictator. But then Biden, at least, is always senile
Why is that like
and
a
old.
wait?
Well, some people perceive him as very senile and old. So what I'm
well, that's just a fact.
Well, okay, he's
Cameras
old,
perceive him as very
he does a lot of gaffes. And
He just
does
is senile and old.
He does, yeah, he is, and so is Trump old. But
I feel bad
Trump
I feel
says
bad for the
stupid
man.
shit. Trump
Absolutely.
says
But
put
at least-
bleach up.
I'm not sticking up for Trump whatsoever when I
At
talk
least
about
Trump is taking
Biden.
Diet pills and speed and probably smart pills
And
as
eats
well.
McDonald's all the time. Probably ruined his brain. I mean, he can't even talk. He can't make a sentence. All he says gets up there and he riles up his base.
Trump?
Trump gets up there and says things that get his basic side.
Well,
People in the
so again,
audience.
I always like to
Reminds
I always
me
like to
it's
put the
a reality
caveat out
show.
there that I didn't vote for Trump. I would never once was like I never once told anyone I'd get behind Trump.
Look, comparing
But-
Democrats to Republicans is like talking about the same politician. They're both the same. They're all corrupt. They're figureheads.
They are, but what I will say about Trump again.
None
So
of them are good.
and pretty much the entire Trump presidency, I was again completely. I paid zero attention to what was going on in the world. Like I was in my own world. I was doing my own
Was
thing.
that purposeful?
It was, yeah.
Because you didn't want to hear his bullshit.
No, it wasn't about. It had actually had nothing to do with Trump. Like again, but I was saying yesterday that I was definitely hoping Donald Trump got elected, but I also would have been. I told you I would have voted for fucking Dennis Rodman. I believe. I honestly, I have a different perspective from a lot of people because I honestly.
Herschel Walker's for the Senate. What an oh god.
Well, I just in 2016 when Trump first got elected, I just knew that people just needed to get angry. I didn't care what side of the aisle you're on. I just knew that everyone was so goddamn asleep that again, Trump, whoever, anyone that's going to come in and get people angry.
But that's how a cult of personality works. People are disillusioned with both parties and the whole situation. They see the corruption. They saw Bill Clinton. Right. They saw all of them.
But they weren't though. Like, people were still just were completely taking it.
And then all these, okay. So
like before COVID came up?
Somebody comes along like a Trump, and he's like a cult of personality. He had this reality show. He says these things. And just because he's blunt, people think he's telling the truth, but he isn't all the time. He lies but he lies very bluntly, which gives the illusion to the people that don't have much.
Well, again, being someone that is tuned out, what I appreciate about Donald Trump, just looking back at again things that I totally missed at the time when they happened. I appreciate that he's not reading from a teleprompter. Like for the most part, the vast majority of clips that I've seen of Donald Trump,
I would think
he is talking.
Very stupid if they wrote his stuff.
That's why I like him. That is one. Like I don't want someone that's reading off a teleprompter. Like
but he doesn't. But what he says is. Some of the stuff he says is like...
You just don't like him, that's fine. Like, but
no,
you can't really say... what is it then?
I don't like that he's a misogynist.
Right, so you don't like him. So you don't like him.
Why would I like him? What kind
you don't have to like him. I'm not saying you should like him. I'm just saying, but...
Arguing. I'm not saying...
I'm not even sticking up for Donald Trump. I'm just saying the people that don't like him... The people that don't like him, I have yet to hear, like... a good reason why. Like, no one can name anything that he's done illegal. Like, the only thing people can do...
Insurrection? Conspiracy?
Insurrection?
He didn't... They linked him to all these...
You think that was an insurrection?
What do you think it was? I don't know. Did they all get up in line and lie about how he actually manipulated the situation? He told them to bring guns in where he was speaking... They had these metal detectors, and they wanted to say, "Oh, forget them. Let him bring his guns in because he's not. They're going to shoot me." And he wanted to go back to the Capitol.
Back up a little bit. I just want to hear just start from the beginning. The insurrection. Like, what is the insurrection like from your like
go
from
back.
how you've heard it. Like
Let's go
yeah.
back. When the election was going on, let's go back.
Wait, which one?
Between Biden and he was
So
going
in
around.
16 you mean?
No.
Or 20?
20.
Okay.
So Biden was up there talking to his gang, all sit in the back with the token black people in front. What I'm saying is when he would speak, he would say things, he would say over and over, if I don't win this, it's going to be fraud. He planned this. He knew ahead of time that he was going to deny the results of the election because he was talking about it to those people that believe everything he says.
But this battle
setting it
still
up.
goes on behind the scenes today because they know, like we're saying, your phone, this conversation, everybody's conversations. They
So what
know,
does that mean?
and when I say they, this they
So
is,
what does that mean?
this means the tech companies know. The tech companies
Know
know
what?
the actual consensus of the American people. So the tech companies know both sides. They know one side's
You
withholding.
don't think Russia, Putin
They-
had anything to do with
Right. Yes. One side is literally creating disinformation campaigns and
Well, they are,
disinformation
yeah.
departments, ministries
I-
of truth.
disinformation?
Let's
When
I want to
was a
let you
girl-
talk. I just want to hear your full story, because again, I don't know what media you consume, but like I just kind of want to get
I
like
don't listen to. I know it's corporately owned.
I
I
did
know
that's
that the media can lie. I know everyone can
right.
lie.
So, but I'm saying I would like to know like your best like understanding of you're saying like Trump was planning the insurrection before the election happened. You're
No,
saying,
what
you're saying,
when someone gets up there,
but you're saying
and
so
keeps saying, if I don't win, it's because there was fraud.
So you're saying that
he kept saying it over and over before.
But you're saying
it
that,
was even
but you're saying that was
voted on.
that wasn't a legitimate concern of his. You're saying he was
He
actually
was
worried that
setting
he was going to
everybody
lose.
up. No, he was setting everybody up to know that he's saying, if I don't win, it can't be legitimate. Only if I win is it legitimate. That doesn't buy with me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That means that he's ready.
So that's, I'm
tell
trying to understand. So I'm saying. So are you saying like? Do you think at that time that he actually like thought that he was legitimately going to lose, and so he wanted to put this out there preemptively, just
He
because
wanted to
in
win.
that instance he just I want to win at all costs, even if I'm voted down.
Yes, because there were
Okay,
legal
I just
problems
yeah,
for him.
I just want to know
He
what
was
you.
scared of legal problems because he's done a lot of things that other
you're saying-
presidents doesn't do. Listen, he didn't open up about his tax. There were a lot of things he didn't do. He acted like a fucking dictator and nepotism, putting his kids in there. What do they know about all that shit? I'm saying, and putting people in and firing them whenever they did anything that he thought was disloyal.
Right, I know you don't like again. I'm not even
He wanted
defending
yes
him. Like
men.
I know it's
He
clear
wanted yes men.
you don't like him, but like
I don't like dictators.
and that's fine. Again, I'm not trying to say you should like him. Again, I'm just trying to understand like.
No, I also think he's a very unhealthy influence on children about
let's stop getting ahead.
narcissism.
Hold on, let's stop getting ahead of ourselves though. I really I'm trying to understand here. So I just want to know. Do you think like that he like what was his frame of mind like? Even if I'm voted down by the American people, like if there is a fair vote and I lose, like it doesn't.
If I don't win, it's a lie. That's what he was
Right,
saying.
but I'm saying,
Period.
what I'm asking you though is, do you think his mindset was, like, I want to keep power that bad no matter what,
Yes.
even if they don't want me, so that's why I'm putting this out here?
Yes.
Okay, and you don't think that he legitimately
I'm
actually?
not saying Biden's good. I'm not saying.
I know, I understand that. Stop defending yourself. Like I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand like your. Okay, so
Down the name and everything.
do you believe there's any part of him that actually feared like what he was saying, that there would be election fraud, or do you think that he just like thought he was going to lose, or do you think that you think he obviously you probably thinks a lot of himself, so like right
No,
like
he would be diagnosed
he's
as a malignant
right
narcissist.
so he probably thought he was going to win, right? Like he probably wasn't,
narcissism is about winning,
Right,
At all
and-
costs.
okay, so he probably, so in your eyes he
Afraid of
thought he
going
was
to
going to
jail,
win.
Too.
He thought he was going to win, but he was just putting
If
out
he's
the election
president,
stuff.
He gets executive privilege.
Right, but he was putting out this stuff about
Mm-hmm.
about the election preemptively because you're saying that he just wanted to keep power no matter what, even if he's voted down. Okay, so
Well,
no, that's cool. That's legitimate.
putting out fraud ahead of time,
And
bringing
so-
that up tells me
Right.
he's either very paranoid.
Okay, so go on. I just
trying
want to know like your story of January 6th. So so
Yeah.
the election happens, and then
And then he goes, has Rudy, all these people go to Georgia to make fake electors. That's a criminal thing against him too. Fake electors.
Right. I know there was stuff.
Got really, really.
I know there was stuff with like a lot of states. Of course, there's a lot of contention about what happened with the election. There was
bad voting machines. He thought of every
Dead
way
people
possible.
voting,
right. Well, of course, there's lots of contention. We all know this,
The
but like,
ballots.
but
The ballots in the thing, the mail-in ballots. He said that wasn't
right.
Fair. Everything was wrong.
Right. But so like. This started with like
setting up the lie in people's minds.
And so then you're saying he told people to come with guns or like what like.
Did you ever hear when he did the one?
No, that's right. I want to know like
you're not putting me on this.
I was completely upset. I was 100% away from media at this point.
Just listen to this. When he was up talking one day, and he was talking about
this is on January 6th.
No, before, and he said he made a statement in one of his talks about Proud Boys stand down. He was giving messages to these militia groups that something was that there was some communications that had been going on.
If he was giving communications, wouldn't stand down be?
No, stand down, stand by, or something like that.
Okay.
He was giving them a message, and that was one thing I noticed, and other people didn't notice that. But there were a lot of things that came out through the January 6th, hearing thing, was that when this one girl who heard this firsthand, she was in the limo with the guy who was driving Trump, and Trump tried to get him to turn around so he could go down to the Capitol. So he grabbed his arm, and then the guy pushed his arm out away. Trump.
He wanted to go so bad, but his bodyguards weren't going to let him, so he tried to wrestle up
something like that,
to drive it himself.
And
he was
the
going
girl in the car, she testified, and she said there were just overt things that he said and did that everybody was warning him. No, you don't want to go down there. Then they're going to think you're a part of it. Well, he was. I mean, he was in cahoots with these militia groups.
What were the order? What was the?
Okay, they brought assault weapons to the Capitol the time that Trump was speaking. He wanted the Proud Boys and some of the militia groups to come in to the arena where he's speaking. And they had metal detectors. And he told them, let them go through. Take the metal detectors down. Because they're not going to shoot me. He knew they were going there to cut. You can't, the whole thing. I mean, I would have to.
Well, let me ask you one question. Have you known many people in the military in your life?
My sons.
Your sons were in the military? Okay.
I was in Bosnia.
We actually went to war?
Teaching landmine safety.
Wow.
He was in Iraq.
Okay.
He was
You think like most of the Proud Boys in those groups, those are a lot of ex-military guys, right?
Yeah, but not everybody's an
insurrectionist.
Right.
Well, of course. But like, okay, what I'm going to try to ask you here is like, if Donald Trump or anybody were to organize a large group of veterans and military members,
I'm not saying I like Nancy.
Like, I mean, do you like? No. I know you're not saying that, but you're saying this was an insurrection. It was planned beforehand. It was all this, and so my question is to you, like, why didn't a civil war kick off? Why wasn't there mass casualties? Why
they wanted to kill Pence. They wanted to hang.
You're saying it was planned beforehand. Like, why didn't if it was a planned out military assault? Like, there would have been so many people dead before anyone was ever even seen. Like, where again, if you said your sons were in war, military guys like.
Talking so fast.
I'm sorry. I talk a lot. I talk fast.
And the problem is that I can't get in between them.
I know. Yeah, I know.
So it's hard to really. There's a lot of things that come to mind. Like, okay, there were just most of the people that got arrested from that time did admit that there was talk with Trump, or there was.
But
some of his advisors even have been.
I'm not disputing any of that. I'm just asking. I just want to know that one answer to that question. Like, do you think your sons, if they were part of a tactical military assault for anything, do you think like wouldn't they probably kill at least a few people before if they're attacking people that don't know that an attack's even coming? Like. There's no question that it's going to be really, really bad for the people being attacked. by U.S. military
The
veterans
security
and
did get in there and try to.
what's that?
Well, you never saw it, right? You never saw.
No,
it.
no, no. I have. I know a lot about it now. At the time, again, I was completely disassociated with all of it. But
I just believe that.
But even on that day,
everything he said.
again, but I knew nothing about it. I didn't know anything about it for 4 years. But that
I think
day,
we are in a civil war. I think when you see guns allowed everywhere, like in Pennsylvania, where there's so many shootings, certain states, where people are allowed to take guns everywhere. You walk in Walmart, carry it. What do they call it? Conceal and carry. When you get to that point,
we can talk about guns, but
I'm not trying to divert it.
I really like that.
Donald Trump. He had the NRA. You know the gun manufacturers. It's important because this is who supported him. The gun manufacturers.
Well, why didn't the guns kill more people on January 6th?
You know what? They went and raided the Capitol. They wanted to get Nancy Pelosi.
I don't dispute any of that.
Difficult question to answer because the police. No, Trump did not even allow. They begged to get in the military police to get in people there to help protect and defend, and Trump said no. He didn't do anything about it. That was another sign. There were many factors that you could say that would have to lead that he knew about it. He knew about it.
I don't even care enough to even dispute any. I'll give you.
I care. Just
I'll give you all those, but I still have to ask the question. Like, if it was a military assault, why did no one die? Well, no, it's absurd on its.
No one died.
It's absurd on its.
Few people that died.
But it wasn't a military assault.
I didn't say it was a military assault.
You said it was an insurrection.
Well, in that.
An insurrection is, you said it was a planned, coordinated insurrection.
No, you're trying to push your point so much that you're talking over
I'm
me.
not, I'm asking a question.
No, you're just like, just listen. I don't know if you call it a military assault. Those people planned to go in there. They wanted to get Nancy Pelosi. The one woman who came in from out of town, she got killed by a policeman.
Ashley Babbitt, yeah.
Yeah, Ashley Babbitt, right. And so what I'm saying is there was a police officer who inadvertently died as a result of the behaviors. I'm saying that I think 5 people were really hurt or died. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know every detail like you might expect me to.
I don't think you know all these. I only asked you one question. I
know, but you're doing something I don't like. You're saying right now you're like going. I only asked you one question, but you're talking fast. I
always talk fast. I apologize for that. I'm sorry.
No, it's no offense. I just felt like sometimes when somebody does that, I feel like I'm on trial and being grilled, and I have to prove my point.
I mean, we can easily just diffuse by changing topics. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
I know.
have to be about
But I guess what I'm trying to say is I believe he definitely knew about it.